Everyone, today's overview and review video is on Verdant. So if you're new to the channel, this is 𝒂𝒐𝒏. My name is Krissy. If you're into board games, like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're ultra into board games, we have added members to the channel where we learn all of our board games before we make content on them. That link is down in the description below. And a big thank you to all of the members who have already joined. So this is Verdant. This is a game that we kickstarted and it just came in recently. So let's go ahead and take a look at the table and see what the components are. Now, some of these components were upgraded, just so that you know. So we have a few things going on here. Basically, we have two sets of cards, we have rooms, and we have plants. We basically have these unique tokens here that you're going to be able to place into your rooms. We have some tokens over here. We have green thumbs, and we have Verdancy tokens. We have different pots here that you're going to be able to repot your plants and gain some victory points for them. And along with gaining some points from these, we also have 3 different gold cards. Now, this is an advanced setup. If you choose to play with this, it's just going to give you a little bit more victory points at the end of the game. So we have those, and we also have some player aids, and we have a storing card for some of the tokens that you're going to be able to collect. And of course, we have this bag that's filled with nurture tokens. So these are just the unique item tokens, and have the green ones, which are the nurture tokens, which is going to be taking care of your plants. So that is in this bag here. So basically this is set up at the beginning of the game. You're going to go through your pots, depending on how many players are playing the game. That is how many pots that you're going to have for each of them. And also each player is going to take 1 of each card. So you're basically going to take 1 from each deck, from the face down deck, and you're going to be able to place it out. Now, the actions for this game. So basically you want to match up your rooms with your plants so that the lighting conditions match what is on your plant. So each room card is going to have a different lighting, and all of your plants are going to have different lighting as well. Each plant is also going to have the same color as the room. So basically you're just going to get extra victory points at the end of the game if you have the same colored room for the same colored plant. So like this one is an orange one, you'd be able to pair it with this and you'd be able to gain victory points at the end of the game. Whenever you do place a room next to a plant or a plant next to a room that matches, then you're going to be able to gain some Verdancy tokens and you're going to place it on. So what this is doing is basically you need to match up the number that is on the card. And whenever that is completed, then you're going to be able to take off all of the Verdancy. So we have 1 and we have 3s. So if you were to have 7 on here, you'd be able to take it off during your turn, replace them. And you're going to start with the highest pot, the highest victory scoring pot, and move on. So in a 2-player game, you're going to have 3 of each of these. So once they're all gone, then you would have to move on to the next one. So just in this case, we're going to take one of the 3 here and you're going to cover the pot. So basically this is just a completed plant and you're going to be able to score the victory points at the end of the game for having completed the card. So most of the plant cards, when you place them, you're going to get Verdancy tokens. However, we do have some of the cards that were from the Kickstarter. These ones are just going to give you thumbs up tokens. So that is basically just the setup. That's what's going to happen. The first player isn't going to get any tokens, but the second player is going to get 2 of the thumbs up tokens. I will go through what the actions are throughout the game, and then we'll talk about the tokens and all of the different things that they're able to do within the game. So basically you start off with the 2 cards that you have, and then once you start actually playing the game, you're going to have the choice to either take a plant card or take a room card. Whichever one that you do take, let's just say that we have this room. This side of the room is dark. It doesn't need that much natural light. This Swiss cheese plant here does need a dark room, so we could place it there and place our Verdancy token on there because the rooms do match for the lighting. Now you have to take the token that is just below it. So regardless if you take a room or a plant, you're still going to take the tile. So whenever you take the card in the tile that you want, whatever card that is left is going to be added a thumbs up, or a green thumb, a thumbs up, a green thumb. It's going to add a green thumb on it, and it's just kind of to lure the players to take those cards. So once you have selected all your things, you can place your tile in a room. If you're placing one of the unique item tokens, if you're taking one of those, then you'd be able to place it on the room. Now, these do have to match somewhat to get the extra victory points. So if you have the same color item on the same colored room, then whatever plant you have that is the same color as the room to either side, instead of getting 1 victory point, you're actually going to double it and get 2 victory points for each room. So that's how you kind of want to match those up. Now, sometimes it does happen that you end up with other tokens that don't really match any of the room colors that you have. So you do have an item storage up here, and it is just for 1 only. So if you do have another one, then you would have to place it out. This is also where you're placing your green thumbs. You can have a max of 5 of those on there. So again, I will go through what all of the tokens are just a little bit later on here. So once you have placed your card and your tile, then you're going to go ahead and replace the card that you took, and you're going to draw out a new token. And then it would be the next player's turn. So the same thing would kind of go for if you're taking a room here. And the way that you're placing them out is going to be a plant, a room, and a plant, and the same thing for the next row below. So say I wanted to take this card, you wouldn't be able to place it below it. It would have to go next to a plant. And again, this, by placing it there, would gain a Verdant token on here because the lighting matches the plant, which is no light here. So the same thing would go for that. You would again take the tile, these nurture tiles. These all do different things. So the fertilizer here will allow you to add 3 Verdants to 1 plant. So if you wanted to do that, it would help you gain the points so that you can put a pot on this plant here, and then at the end of the game would give you the victory points at the end. So that is fertilizer. Then we have the watering can here. The watering can will allow you to add 1 Verdant to any of the plants that are adjacent to a single room. So you could pick a room, you could pick this one, and then you would add Verdant to each plant on the side. Now, if the plant does have a pot on it, then there are no more Verdant tokens that are going to be going onto that card because that plant is now completed. So that is the watering can, and then there is one in here that is the shovel. So that one is basically adding 1 Verdant to up to 3 plants. So if you wanted to do that too, then it's kind of wherever you want. So whenever you have these tokens, you can use them right away, or you can put them on your storage here to use them whenever you want to use them. So that was the nurture tokens. Then we can talk about the green thumbs. So the green thumbs are just a little bit different, but you can get rid of 2. And what that'll allow you to do is, because you have to take the card with the tile that are in the same row, if you get rid of 2 of the green thumbs, then you would be able to take a room or a plant from anywhere and a tile from anywhere that you wanted as well. Or another way that you can use the green thumbs is you're always getting rid of 2 thumbs for any of the options that you can do for them. So the other option is because whenever you are taking a card, whatever card that you don't take, you're adding a green thumb onto it. So whichever card doesn't have a green thumb on it, you can remove and redraw new ones. And then another option is removing all of the tiles and then replacing them. So those are the options that you can do with it. You can also remove 2, you can also get rid of 2 thumbs to place 1 Verdant on any of your plants. So those are the options that you can do with the green thumbs. Definitely comes in handy because this is kind of like a puzzle that you're trying to do. You really want to match up the items with the same colored items with the same colored rooms so that you get the most victory points at the end of the game. So the game ends when you have a 3x5 grid just like this. Once everyone's grid is completed, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to score up your victory points for the game. So the first thing is that you're going to count all of your completed plants. So anything that has a pot on it, that is completed. So you're going to gain all of the victory points that are on the bottom here, and you're going to tally that up. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look at the extra Verdants and on incomplete. So these are all, you're going to count up all of the Verdants that you have on your grid, and then you're going to divide it by 2, and that is how much you're going to mark down for victory points. Then you're going to go ahead and score up all of the victory points that are on the pots, and then you can go ahead and score up the room bonuses. So basically for room bonuses, you're going to go ahead and you're going to look at the room. It's suggested that you start from the top left and work your way all the way down. So we'll start with the pink room here. This one does have a same colored token on it. So we're going to go ahead and score each room that is pink 2 victory points. So we do only have the 1, so that's going to be 2 victory points. And then once you do the first room, then you'll move on to the second room. So that's 2 victory points. This one here only has 1 yellow, which is down here. It also has a tile on it, so it's going to be another 2, so that would be 4 victory points for these 2 rooms. Then we're going to go with this one. This one doesn't have a tile in it, so the room to the left is only going to be 1 victory points, so that is 5 victory points. And then we move on to the next blue. It does not have the same colored tile on it, so all of the blue rooms is going to be 1 victory point. So that would be this room right here. So that's a total of 6 victory points that we have. Then we move on to the yellow one. I don't know why the thumb is on there. I never collected it. So the yellow room here, there are 2 rooms. So that was 7, 8, 9 victory points. Then we can go to this one here. It only has 1, but it would be an extra 2 victory points. We have this one. We have no colors of the same that's around there, so that one isn't going to cost us anything. And then we have the last room, the orange one right here. It does have a matching tile on it, so the flower that is to the left of it would be an extra 2 victory points. So that is how you do the rooms. And then once you have the rooms tallied up, then we're going to go to the furniture and pet. So basically the tiles that you have on your grid here, however many that you have that are unique items is how you're going to score victory points off of it. So I have a goldfish, I have a bird, and I have a dog. So that is only 3. Duplicates do not count. So 3, it would give me 6 victory points. And then the last one on the list is if we have the 5 different room types. In this case, we do purple, the lighter blue, the darker blue, the yellow, and the orange. So in this case, we do have all 5 types of, or all 5 colors of rooms. So you would gain 3 victory points. So that would be all of the victory points that you would collect at the end of the game if you're just playing the base game. But we do have the extra cards that can score some victory points. So we'll take a look at those. Whatever they are, you're going to add them to your victory points, and then you're going to tally them all up. Whoever has the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of those extra gold cards. So the first gold card here is 3 of a kind. So if you have, you would get 10 victory points for having 3 of the same item on your house, in your house. I did not even plan this out. I actually didn't even look at these gold cards until right this second, and I just made this up. I sat here for 5 minutes making this up for the video, and I didn't even realize that I had 3 birds. So that would actually get me 10 victory points for having 3 of a kind. Then we have on vacation. You get 2 victory points for each plant with 2 or fewer verdancies achieved. So if you have 2 or fewer on it, like these 2 right here, so then I would gain 2 victory points for each of these. That would be an extra 4 victory points for me. Then we have coordinated corridors. So you would get 3 victory points for each row with the same type of room. So in this case, I do not have that. If I had yellow here instead of the blue, then that would be the same room colors for that row, so that would give me 3 victory points. So those, they are a whole bunch of different ones. You just randomly draw 1 of each type, and that's what you're going to be, those are the goals that you're going to be playing for the game, keeping in mind that you need to work towards that as well. It's just something a little bit more difficult and have a little bit more strategy for the game. So learning the game was pretty easy. This isn't necessarily a hard game to learn. The rule book really did do a really good job going through everything. Nick, of course, reads all of our rule books, and it was pretty easy to understand. It is a lighter game, but it does have some strategy in it. So playing the game, it's kind of like a puzzle type game. You have to match the same colored tiles on the same color room, and you want to match those with the same color plants so that you're really getting enough victory points to help you win the game. Every single time that we've played this game, our scores, except one time, Nick scored 90 points on this. I was obviously very distracted because I think that was my lowest score for the game. I think I got 59 for that one. So the scores can really vary depending on what type of goals that you have too, if you're playing with those. But yeah, playing the game, strategy for placing, you want to do really well, right? You want to get the same colored rooms and stuff, and it really helps whenever you're doing that because you gain victory points for having more of the tokens. So you could potentially, like if you have 8 of the same, or 8 different kinds, then you can get 25 victory points for that. And then if you match the tiles with the rooms and the plants, then you're going to be gaining a lot of victory points. Like you have potentially from one room to gain 8 victory points. So, and there's a couple of rooms in this game. But yeah, playing the game was pretty easy. It's a nice game. You can get a couple of games in, which is really nice. Something that Nick and I enjoy for lighter games is just getting a couple of games in. So we really enjoyed it. The artwork in the game is really nice. I really do enjoy the artwork in it. And then I like the theme too. all plants. I really like plants. I got into plants during COVID. I don't think there's a hobby that I didn't get into during COVID, but plants was a big one. I recognize all the plants, so it's really nice. It's kind of cool. Really like the little tokens that they added too. So this was a Kickstarter that we received. Nick really deals with all of it. I don't look into it too much, but I'm pretty sure that our tokens were upgraded, the Verdant tokens, which I really like because they're like monstera leaves. They're super cute, and I love that they are wooden. You're basically using these the most because you're placing them onto all of your plant cards that you have. You're really going through the thumbs up tokens too, the green thumbs, but not nearly as much because you can only really deal with 5 at a time. But I enjoy the tokens, the components for all of these games. I really enjoy too the pots that you can kind of do. So like it's almost like you're repotting the plant. It's like it's growing new leaves. It's getting too big for the pot that it's in, and you're able to repot it and then gain victory points off of it too. So yeah, I really enjoy that. The components, the artwork, the theme is really cute. Like I was saying, it's plants. It looks good. It's an easy, fun game, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think that I have anything bad to say about the game. It's nice for what it is. We've played it a whole bunch of times over on Members Lives, and it was a lot of fun. It's just something, I don't know, relaxing and nice and fun. And it's a puzzle, which Nick really enjoys too. Definitely gets your brain thinking. Definitely does. So, but anyways, he's not even here and I'm talking for him. I really enjoyed this game. I know Nick really enjoyed the game too. I do have a playthrough coming out for this one too, so you can stick around for a couple days because that should be out very shortly as well. But yeah, overall, I really like the game. If you're into light games, if plants are kind of your theme, it's just a really nice, cute theme. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely take a look at the game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time.